Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining our session as we have today. Yay, we have someone interesting in the house. Daniel. Come on, give it up for Daniel. Give it up for Daniel. Come on,
Hello,
Daniel.
everyone. Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Good afternoon. All right, so while we wait for you to join, let me know where you are joining me from today. And let's know like the weather report from where you are. Don't forget to share this with your friends, your families, because we're talking about making better career decisions. Like if I had this when I was young, maybe I'm not old sharp. Maybe, just maybe, my life would have, been better than this. But guess what? Jobama Nigeria is good to you, and we're having this conversation today. So we're talking about making better career decisions. All right, please let me know where you're joining from so that we can start. Once it is 13:05, we are going to start. Hi, Daniel. How are you today?
I'm very well, Tife. And you? How's work
I'm
going?
good. Work is fine. Work is actually fine. So, quick one. If you had a session like this, maybe say some 10, 15 years ago, do you think things would have panned out better or differently for you?
10 years ago, I think so. I think so. The way some of our career path just works is that you just get into the system and it's like a race. You just start going, and as you go, things begin to evolve. So I think this conversation is going to help a lot of people that are already in the system and still trying to navigate, the system to come to a place of relevance. So yeah, it's going to help a lot, and this
All
should
right.
help a lot. So, yeah.
All right, awesome. So we already have our audience in the house. I can see Enoch from Oshu, Adebimpe from Ibadan, Elsie from Lagos, Kende Joshua from Lagos. I can see Chia Marauke. I can see Adedik Perotimi. I can see Razak from Lagos. So how is the weather in Oshun, in Ibadan, and in Lagos? Because that's where I can see, you know, you are joining us from, just let us know. Feel free to share the link with your friends, your family members, people that you know that they need it. They need to make better decisions, like career decisions. So feel free to share with them, even people you hate. Come on. You can as well share this, session with them. Michael from Ibadan, I can see you too. Thank you for joining us. Today we're talking about making better, career decision. And I have Daniel Emenahor here with me. Come on, guys, clap for. He's a very important person. All of you that have been taking soft skills training, right?
Everyone clap for Tife for having me.
Soft skills training. Daniel. This is our able Daniel in the house. Yay, Daniel. Thank you so much for joining us. Success. I can
Thank
see
you.
you from Lagos. Oluwatosin from Lagos. Hello, Zeno from Lagos. The weather is
Setting the pace
fine.
now,
No,
yeah.
we are still setting pace. Oh, shit, I want pace setters. I see you, Oyo State people. Nice one. Abdullahi from Lagos. I see you. Musa from Lagos. All right, we have 1 more minute to, say our hellos and let me know where you're joining us from. Then we can start. Abidemi from Lagos. I can see you too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. You know. It's a pleasure to have all of you here. Raining seriously in Lagos. See, I'm feeling it. I'm very cold. So me and Daniel, we had to, you know.
Is it raining in Lagos? It's not raining in this part of Lagos. Is it raining at your side, Tife?
Yeah, it actually rained. Yeah,
Oh,
every rain like this. Samson from Kano. Hi, Prince from Port Harcourt. You see, Daniel, you're global. All right, thank you so much for joining us. We are going to get started shortly. So over the week, we gave job seekers the opportunity to ask questions. So we have some questions here that we're going to take first. Once we are done, then we'll come, to the live chat and take questions from you as well. Daniel is a nice speaker. I love him. From Musa. Thank you, Musa, for that.
thank you, Musa. Thank you.
All right, so let's get into it. Now, don't forget today we're talking about making better career decisions. Now, Daniel, the first question I have here is how can I make my personal branding different from that of my colleagues?
That's a very good question. And first of all, you need to even define or even try to understand what is personal branding. There's been a lot of conversations, all right, even from the creative space and creative industry around branding yourself, telling a story about the work that you do and let people know you. So when you see that question, that how can I, make my personal branding different? The question is, what are you bringing on the table? What is your unique contribution, and what is your unique value contribution to your
Yeah.
industry or to your company? And when you begin to think from that, and you begin to see your job as not just a job but work, but you contributing to the solutions to the problem that your organization is trying to solve. When you see your work like that, then you begin to ask yourself, what can I do differently from my colleagues, number one, and how can I tell the story of what I'm doing, online. For example, LinkedIn, we have a lot of people joining us from LinkedIn, for instance. How can I begin to tell the story of the work that I do online,
Sorry,
and
Daniel, your line
position
is
myself?
breaking.
Okay, can you hear me?
Can
Can you hear me
finish?
now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. I said his network is breaking. That was Musa. All right. So it's more like, like I was saying, number one, you want to ask yourself, what are the contributions you're bringing on the table? What are the different problems you're solving in your organization that is different from what your colleagues are doing? And the next thing you want to do is, how can you tell the story about the work that you do? So take for instance, I work at Jobberman as a learning and development professional, where I do trainings. Mastercard, funded projects to train millions of
Sorry,
youth
Daniel,
graduates.
we can't hear you. Sorry, I think it's the weather. The network is really breaking.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me sort that out.
All right, so thank you for joining. Daniel is just trying to, change his internet. Okay, Enoch says, hello, Tifa. The weather here is bright and sunny. Glad to join the session. Hi, Enoch. Thank you for that. I can see Bex from Lagos, Pius from Kaduna, Ogochuku from Lagos. I can see Udwak from Lagos as well. All right,
So I
so
just say
here,
comment saying my line isn't breaking. But if I can you confirm that you can
yeah,
hear me from your own end?
I can hear you now.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. So just to summarize the point I was trying to make is just solve the problems you're solving in your organization. Number one. Number two, when you're doing that, tell the story about the work that you do, and tell the story about the work that you do, and have an understanding of what you want to do for the rest of your life, and just have to figure out that what you're doing is trying to position you for the opportunities that you may attract in the future. So I think that is some of the ways you can, like the question said, you can make your personal branding different from your colleagues. Your colleagues are doing different things, they're solving different problems. You want to ask yourself, what is the problem you're solving? If you're a team, for example, you're working in a team, in the human resource team, everybody has their role they're doing. And you want to ask yourself, what more, what else can you do in the work that you do? And how can you tell the story of the work that you do in such a way that positions you, for the opportunities that exist in that industry or in that sector they are currently working on? I like to share this, and it was shared by the founder of Workforce in a webinar last year. And he said that there are three things every employee should, three indices every employee should rate themselves on. And he said number one is, what is your employability index, meaning how well do you do what you do. He said number two, what is your indispensability index, meaning how difficult it is to replace you. And the last one he said is, what is your ownership index, or what is your entrepreneurial index? All right, meaning, what's that one now? I can't remember what that one, but you get the sense of what entrepreneurial or ownership index meaning how well do you own the work that you do and do it to the best of your ability. And when you consider these three indices and you look your work through this frame, you begin to do excellent work. And as you do excellent work, personal branding is, as you're branding yourself in the work that you do, even these colleagues you want to differentiate yourself from, they will be the ones to even tell your story, in the long run. I think that's what I'll say to that point. Do good work and tell the story about the work that you do. It's fair?
Yeah, so Daniela said it all. Come on. So do not compare yourself with your colleague. Like they are doing different things. Can you hear me,
Yeah.
Daniel?
Yes, I can.
All right. So they are doing different things, right? So be true to yourself. It is you. That's your identity. Okay. So now, next question is this person is serious. This says, Can I get an HR mentor from Jobberman?
It
Like
depends on what you mean by HR mentor.
someone that will mentor me, this new career path that I'm trying to delve into. Someone that
Yeah,
just gives me help. Can I get?
yeah, I think you can. You go to if you go on LinkedIn, go to Jobberman, you see employees there. You see the guys in human resource. Tifa is one of them. Shoot them an email, or reach out to share. More than happy, I believe we'll be able to guide you on that journey. But I like to answer that question in a different way because in my training and interaction with many young people, you see many young people say things like, "I want to go into HR, I want to be a resource manager." Many of the times, they don't really understand what that industry is.
Yeah.
What is human resource? What do they do? What is the relevance of that department in the organization? So I get the sense of why that person wants to even get a HR mentor is probably to understand, what and ask questions in some of the because anytime you see somebody who's interested in human resource, not anytime, most times when I see people who are interested in human resource, you see they want to switch, right? You probably study like about chemistry or aquaculture or all those kind of funny courses, and or they just want to even switch from one completely career path to HR, and sometimes they don't know how to get into that space. All right,
Yeah.
and I guess that's why the person is even asking to get a HR mentor. So reach out. I would say start understanding what it means to be in the human resource department, what's the entails, what the skills, what skills are needed there. Find a place to volunteer and intern. Like they say, you learn 70% on the job, 20%, from interpersonal, from questions or things we're doing like this, and 10% from books. But I believe that as we don't really have a mentorship process per se, but you can reach out to anybody, not just in Jobberman now, but anybody you feel in the HR space and ask the questions. And I believe they'll be more than happy to answer any HR questions you have. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you so much. Daniel came with facts. He says 70% on the job, right? And the remaining, from conversation. So please do not think or have the opinion that you just need a mentor. While that is good, you also need a first-hand experience, on
Yeah.
the that you're trying to get into. Yep. So another question is, I can see Chinyenye asking, can we ask questions? Oh yes, you can ask your questions. Now, what Hmm. How can I overcome the setback of changing my career path?
That's a very interesting question. Why is it a setback in the first place in changing your career? you know,
Mm,
and I believe, changing career, I'll answer that question. People change career, people change career, they feel sometimes people change career because they feel there's an opportunity there. For example, from last year, you see a lot of people, not in the few years, you see people changing their careers to tech, learning tech skills because they found opportunities there. You see people also changing their career to, for example, like the case we just mentioned in the previous question, human resource, right? People want to change their because well, they see the opportunities there, they feel they have the skills. So I feel when that person said, "Why would I overcome the setback?" It's more like, you know, is understanding is there a barrier to entry in those space? What are the skills that those space or those career path need? And how can I get into into that space? So how do you overcome that setback if there's a setback? Number one, you want to understand what are the skills that is needed in that career path you want to change to. All right. What are the skills needed? Some people say, I want to go into tech. What do you have the skills for tech? So understand what are the skills you need, upskill for that career path you want to change to. Very importantly, number two, when you have that in place, you want to start reaching out. All right. Reach out to intern, reach out to volunteer, reach out for work. Now the second thing would now be how do you curate your past experiences in a way that also shows that you can provide value in the career path you're switching to. All right. So take for instance, you want to switch from customer care representative, a job on customer care, but you want to shift to human resource. The question you want to ask is that what are the underlying skills, underlying experiences that applies to customer care and also applies to human resource. All right. So in customer care relationship, you were doing conflict resolution, you were handling customer complaints, you were dealing with people. All right. You were at some point building relationships, and those are some of the things that the human resource person will also need. So find out what are the contrasting, or what's the word now, the similar skills or similar experiences that you can use in your former career path, and you can apply to the next career path. Then when you do that, that will help you curate your CV when you're applying for jobs. We always teach in our soft skills training, you cannot have only one CV, meaning you can't use one CV to apply for jobs. So you cannot use a customer care career CV, to apply for a
Wait,
tech CV,
yeah.
HR job. So you have to always tailor, that your experiences, tailor your skills, tailor all those things to the career path you want to go for. For example, someone say getting certification, but beyond certifications, it's more about competence. A lot of times people want to switch and they go get certification. They get the certification, they come back and they expect, companies to just open their arms and say, come, because you have the certifications, come and work for us. But the
Yes.
truth exactly. But the truth of the matter is that they still want the competence. So while you're doing your certification, you want to ask yourself, what are some of the experiences? What are some of the things you can start doing, to practice, or experiment with things you're learning. And that's why, Tiffany, the first question about personal branding. If you're doing a certification, what are you writing about? What are you talking about? What are some of the things you're sharing about? So after your certifications, you have an arsenal of experiences and knowledge, to get to switch to the career path you want to go to. That's how I answer that question.
Yeah, you already killed it because even Chinyanyu just asked, is getting a HR certification a good way to start a career
Certain.
in HR?
Exactly.
If yes, which certification is better? I feel like a lot of young people make that mistake. From
Mm,
personal experience, I remember when my sister just finished school and she
mm,
goes, she wants to go and do MBA. And I'm like, MBK? How? Where? Why? Do you understand? Like it was
mm,
so dramatic. Like we had to fight about it. I'm like, why are
mm,
you doing an MBA? You doing it now does not mean that oh you will get one managerial position when you come out. Like you have barely like 1 year experience, and
mm,
people don't understand when you tell them these things. So beyond you spending, you know, like a lot of money on maybe on the certifications, I feel like you should
mm,
focus more on getting the experience. When you now get the experience and hey, you're familiar, it doesn't sound like gibberish to you. Imagine you wanting to do PHR right now and you don't have an idea of what it is. You should just go
mm,
blow how many $1,000 on it, and then you're like, I'm HR certified, I can do the job. Most companies might not give you, they will not even give you the role. So please, and please, and please, and please, still take your experience very seriously. Like I said, Daniel came with fact 70%, and then the experience. So please use it well. All
experience,
right.
yeah.
So another thing I feel like is can be a setback. Some people is fear. It's just the fear of the unknown. They're always just too scared to say, "Oh, what if I leave this job now and I don't get another one?" Life is about taking risk, and this is it.
Mm,
Now you have to look at
mm,
it. If you are
mm,
young like me, I can decide to say, oh, today I'm not doing again. I want to change my career path into, maybe I want to become a product manager,
mm,
or a marketer. It's easy
mm,
because come on, I only fend for myself. I'm not married, right? But then, if you're in a position of maybe, let's say you're married now and you have people to take care of, I can
mm,
understand where the concerns are coming from. So it's something that you need like a mentor, someone to guide you through, just so you
mm,
don't put yourself on the long run, right? So
mm,
it's not
mm,
an excuse that says married people cannot. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you just need guidance, just so Nigeria is already hard. Don't make it harder on yourself. All right?
mm.
Cool.
And that's a very good point, even at day, if I may just add to that around fear. Some people, the opportunity to switch career path come to their desk free of charge, but they feel
Yeah.
that they're not ready or they don't have the competence. Not even competence, they're just afraid. How do I step into, and these are some of the decisions making well, that's what I'm talking about making good career decisions. You're asking yourself, oh, I'm not competent. Sometimes you want to check really, is it fear, like Tifa said? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it a confidence issue? The truth of the matter is that when you step in and you deploy yourself, everything just kind of falls into place. So they are afraid to make that switch when it's time to make the switch. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Daniel. So the next question here is, what is the best approach to asking for a pay raise? or threatening to leave, then you have to increase my salary.
Tife, tell me. I want to know your answer to that question.
Okay, so I think first things first, right? You have to make a case for yourself. Now, me say making a case for yourself, I'm not saying bad into the HR manager's office and say, oh, Tifi Alpha, I need more money. Not that type of thing. So you have to talk with
Mm,
your manager first because that's literally the person that will make the case for you, right? And you
mm,
have to have been able to achieve some things. I find it weird when you've never used up to a year in an organization and you're already asking for salary increments. Like, I don't think you've
mm,
even done over and beyond because literally it takes you like 6 months to now start performing on a particular role. Not even 6 months,
mm,
actually more than six. But we'll put it at a minimum of 6 months, depending on how fast you can, adapt. So go and
mm,
have a conversation with your line manager first. And I feel like salary negotiations or sorry, salary conversations, should come after like a year. Someone did a
mm,
very brilliant thing one time and I was impressed. She waited until a year before she comes and is like, oh, so this is what I've been able to achieve. Went to meet a manager, explained everything. And the manager said, oh, actually, yes, which made sense. And he was able to make a case for her. Now,
mm,
two, you have to also consider your years of experience, your skill set,
mm,
the certifications you have. Those are things that also come, that you have to put together in, when you want to talk about salary increments. Because if you are still like maybe 6 months on the job and you're asking me to increase your salary, and I'm like, okay, so what have you done? What certifications do you have? You don't have any, like you literally don't have anything. You're still just trying, you're still struggling, and you're coming to ask me for money. So it wouldn't fly. So once you have that conversation with your manager, the manager buys into it. If she buys into it, fine. If she doesn't, she'll let you know that, oh, you've not been meeting expectations, right? And okay, I give you like 3 months. In 3 months' time, let's have this conversation. Do this, do that, do this, right? And then you go back. That's feedback. Don't be hurt because come on, feedback is how you literally will survive in today's world. So you can't just think that you know everything. So you go back and work on those key areas. 3 months time. Now don't test that. Another thing you have to know is the atmosphere. Imagine if the company they just told you now that the company is on red. Red not meaning that you're about to sack you, but red meaning that oh guys, we need to double up, we work. And you're not coming to see you want salary increment. You will come off as you're not sensitive enough and they wouldn't buy it. You just feel like you know what, you can go if you need to go. At that point they wouldn't even really care. So make sure that the atmosphere is the right one, right? For you to do that. Come on, this is December period. I know that this is the period that a lot of companies will want to be recruiting into, right? So by now you can start preparing the document that you're going to share with your manager, your line manager, that oh, this is it. I've been able to do this, I've been able to do that. Then in the process, like I said again, another thing you have to do is come up with a salary range. Now don't be hell bent on a particular figure. Say I want 1 million net or nothing. My dear, if we don't have 1 million net to give you at this point, you can go. That's literally what they will say. They say something, soldier come, soldier go. So literally, someone else will take that role. So have a range so you can say, okay, I'm open to let's say 850 to 1 M net. I'm open for negotiation. This is what I'm looking out for. And then you have that conversation with your line manager who in turn goes. So if the money is not like a lot for you, I think another thing that you can talk about is like, other benefits that you probably just, try to see if you can still wing it. And if the conversation goes smoothly, guess what? Your salary increment letter will come. Now, if you're threatening your boss to leave, this is very risky because if you're not good enough, if maybe they're just managing you, like you're not bad though, you're just okay. But okay is not over and beyond. I want over and beyond as a manager. But you're just okay. You're not threatening me that you want to go. My dear, you can be going. So you have to be very careful when you are, having this conversation and be polite. Whatever you do, please ensure this person is still your manager. This is the person that will make the case for you. So even if you hit your head on the wall or you don't, you have to, respect. Oh, I know that you're busy, but these are my
mm,
like, you know, just put it up like that, and then you see how it flies from them. So yeah, I think that
Yeah.
those are I can help you with that.
I agree, and I think what you said is is true. Pressure said the company is on red and you want salary increments. Great, but and also the thing is that just know your worth, know the value you bring on the organization. What have you done? Have you increased revenue? Have you increased sales? What is your direct contribution to the bottom line of the company? And when you see that, and like you said, after a year, you've seen that the work that you've done, nobody else could have done it. Your employability index, how well you do what you do, is optimum. Then you can have that. Then you can have those conversations, right?
Yeah,
Threatening to leave, like first said, is risky. All right, it's
very,
risky
very.
because what if they say, okay, go, all right, and the company you want to go to? I had a friend, I had a similar case like that. She threatened to leave because the other company offered her a job, and the company said no problem. And when she resigned, COVID happened, and the other company she wanted to switch to, could not survive for COVID and could not go forward with the application. She was without job throughout the whole COVID process. That can be an exception in terms of the story, but you want to do that risk analysis very, very strongly, and then you're making the right decision there. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't forget, let's use business terms now. ROI. What's your ROI? What's your ROI bring you back? You understand? I'm paying you
Yeah.
salary on a monthly basis. What are you bringing back for me? So
Hmm.
let's be very careful when we're putting that topic.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now next question is what are the signs you should leave? What are the signs you should leave a company? Is there anything like too long? Signs.
What are the
Okay.
signs? There are many signs. So when you start seeing that signs, you will know. Yeah.
You know you
Sometimes
should.
you walk in a place and you just know that it's time to leave. You get that feeling. Sometimes it's as a result of the length of the place. They say there's this thing about millennials and Gen Z. They don't stay in the organization for long, 2 years, 4 years, they go on. But you see some other people who are staying in organizations for, especially in the banking sector. You see people staying in organizations for 12 years, 10 years. I don't know why, but it could be that they're enjoying the work that they do and there's promotion, they are growing in terms of salary and also the value they're bringing on the organization, which is fine. All right. But for you asking the question, you want to ask yourself, are you underusing your skill? Right. If you're in a place where you have skills that you feel you're underusing and your skills are not directly contributing to the success of the company. So maybe perhaps you want to look for another place because you know that your present job prepares you for your next job in a sense. Your present workplace prepares you for your next one. So if you're not contributing value, if your work is not being appreciated, if you're not doing great stuff that will give you enough leverage for the next thing you're doing, well, before you consider leaving, you want to ask yourself what are the opportunities there for you to start doing that so that it prepares you for your next role. But if it doesn't offer you that, why not? You may want to consider leaving if you're not following, if you feel that the work you're doing, and sometimes people just get tired of the work they do because you see maybe in interview the people saying like they want more, right? They want more, they want more. So what does more mean to you? Is it more opportunities, more work? Is it more connections? Is it more relationships? Is it more money? Very valid. So that's why people leave. If the money you feel you're paid is not, it's not what, and your organization you're currently working in can't give you that money. Sometimes you just want to go look for another place where they pay you more. So that's another issue. Another issue I feel that is considered again is values. Sometimes you work in a place where your personal values are not in line with the organizational values, right? That doing something that is against your own values, and you begin to complain, you begin to become frustrated. You're always the person shouting the most in the meetings, because you feel that the organization should go this way, but they're going this way. Your voice is not heard. Those are some of the things that just make you want to say, you know what, maybe it's time to call it a quit. So there are different reasons for different people, for different time, for different companies. All right, you want to know what is the reason why you want to leave, but ensure that it is valid. Sometimes people even leave not to even go to another job, just to even get off of a toxic culture. Maybe the conversations around mental health now and all those things. So know why you want to leave. There are different reasons. When there's no opportunity for growth, you can work in a place and you have to say, where do I see myself in 2 years in this company? And you cannot categorically state where you see yourself in 2 years in terms of growth and promotion. Those are some of the indications that it's time to leave. Yeah.
Yeah. So you said something about living a toxic place, right? You have to be very careful because the honest truth is that it's not like every company is perfect. There's no perfect company that these ones they will not, you will not do this, you will not do that. It's
That's
just
true.
about, how will I say it now? What's the right word? It just depends. If you're saying you're
Yeah.
running away from a company because it's toxic,
You
by
will
the
go
time
to
you
another
come,
one and
you will now face another giant. So you have to be like
you. Mm-hmm.
really careful, right? So it might be toxic, like it can really be toxic for some people. I'm not saying stay there, but I'm just making you understand that you leaving your job now because of maybe the place is toxic and you want to go to another place. It might be worse than where you left actually. So just be sure of a reason. Like it has to affect you. Remove emotions from it this time around, right? Be professional. Don't say because this person does not like me or this person. Do you understand? Remove all those things away from it. Am I fulfilled? Do I have some sense of fulfillment on this role, in this job, in this company? So look at it towards your professional growth before you now say, oh, at this point though, I don't like, for example, in my previous place of work, at the point I just sat down and I'm like, you know what, I'm just playing because I don't see a career, path in this place. But like I said, again, fear of the unknown, I didn't want to resign at that point because I'm like, "Ah, I have money, I had the company apartment, I was living large. It was okay. Imagine me now going and going back to square one. So I had that fear. But really, you have to know it within yourself. Does this push me forward? Does it make me stagnant? Or does it move me backwards? So be sure of those three.
Very important. And even sometimes when you're doing work that doesn't excite you anymore,
Yeah.
you know, you want to very quickly understand why, because you don't want a situation where you start lagging behind on your deliverables and you end up being fired. So you want to quickly know why your work doesn't excite you anymore, why,
Yeah.
and try to fix it if you can. And if you can't, start looking for other opportunities so that you don't be like they're managing you. There'll be managed people. Oh, this person has been here for 5 years. We want to sack him.
Just managing
You
us.
know, you don't want to be a person to be managed. You want to be a person to be. I want to put on that right there, but I can't think of any now. Managed to vanished.
All right. Now, speaking on that part of, when you said that if, you don't have excitement, please feel free to always reach out to your manager or to the HR person. Don't suffer in silence. These are people that can help you. Why is it that there's no more joy? Why is it such a struggle for you to wake up every morning to go to work? Like there's
Do you
this,
change the things you do? Mm-hmm.
you understand, there's just this, hey, what's this word? Depression every morning that you just end up
Mm,
in depression, like, oh my god, I'm going back to work. We have to open up and talk about it so that they can actually help you. It might just be something that, oh, maybe you need to switch departments,
yeah.
and it will be better for you. So a closed mouth is closest to mouth. So please, open up. Now, moving on to the next question. It says, what are the major steps in making the best career decisions?
You be sharing them. There's no adversaries to that in terms of making career decisions. Where are you right now? Where do you need to go? I like saying it that way. Where are you right now? Where do you see yourself? Where are you going to? What's the vision for your life? And what are the things you want to do right now to get there? That is the fundamental career decision you need to make. And when I say where do you see yourself in the long run, it's not really about being in a position or being in an organization. It's what will you be doing with or without a job? What is your direct contribution? You think, do you want to go into consulting in the long run? Do you want to start your own company? Do you want to work forever? Where do you see yourself generally? Then when you have that picture up there, you now start asking yourself what are things you want to start doing now to get to that point. And at every point you make decisions. And how do you make decisions? And that is where friends and mentors, I'm not even calling mentors, but friends, have conversations with people who have had similar experiences like you. I remember one of the when I wanted to even make the switch to Java, I had conversations with people who have had similar experiences like me. Had conversations, ask questions. Google is your friend. You'll be shocked at the information you will even find on Google. When you search for it. So ask questions. The quality of answers you get depends on the quality of questions you ask. So I ask a lot of questions, especially from people who have had the experience like you. But more importantly, understand where it is you're going. When you know where it is you're going, it guides your decision making right now. It's just like if you wake up and say you want to go to you want to go to the mall, all right, and on your way out, somebody tells you, "Come, let's go to the club." If you make the decision to go to the club, it means that the decision to go to the mall in the first place was not valid. But if you tell the person, I'm going somewhere, so I can't go to this place, that already that already helps you make a decision in that point. I don't know if that's analysis tries to capture that, but have a clear path of where you're going to, and it makes your decision making even easier in the long run.
Yep. And
It's
sometimes
like somebody saying, "Oh, I have a job offer from Shell, and I have another one from say one other company, and I'm praying to God for God to tell me the one you're going to." Where in your mind you already know that Shell you
you
want
know
to,
where you're going.
you already made the decision, something like that. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I said I wanted to say like be like Nike, just do it. There's some
Exactly.
people you just be thinking 1,001 like there are people that used to overthink things. They will think of how this thing will spoil, how it will not spoil, meddle everything together. Sometimes making the best career decision, some of you you're still sitting in the house.
Mm,
Just stand up, go and volunteer.
mm,
Do it,
mm,
right? Once you are into it, it's like say they throw you into the ocean to swim. At a point,
mm,
you at least will struggle to learn how to swim. If eventually you are drowning, not like I'm saying drowning in the sense that maybe it's not for you, then yeah, okay, you can leave and try something else, right? But just ensure that you're doing something. Don't say that we can't say, oh, this is the best thing that will happen to you. The best thing that happened to me, might not be the best thing that will happen to you on your job or in your role. So it varies, right? It's about being, it's a risk too. There are basic things, yes, and there are some other things that what works for me will not work for you. All right. So
mm,
yes, don't forget, like I said again, you need a mentor, someone that will guide you. Mentors don't force things down your throat. They will just guide you on what to do. And you have a choice. You will not say, okay, oh, this is the one I will do at the end of the day. So all right. So next question. What are no, what are the main aspects of HR generalist? How can one be proficient as an this person wrote it in capital letter. Like this is serious. You want to become an HR generalist. Okay, so I'll take this. Now, it's just simple. HR generalist. It means everything HR. So when a lot of people buzz me and say, "Hi, Tife, I want to pursue a career." Somebody buzzed me actually of recent. Person is still a student in OU and she's like, person is studying something different, accounting. And in 200 level, you're already telling me you want to, have a career path in HR. I had to look, I'm like, first off, it will not even help. You had to ask her. I said, see, not you saying you want career path in HR. First off, do what you have to do because you're already in an accounting department, right? Finish and now look for a better way to sell yourself. Now back to
mm,
the question. HR generalist is basically everything HR. So don't stress yourself. If you're looking into delving into HR, you can start from an intern, then you can go into, a generalist position. This gives you a touch base on everything. You know the way they say jack of all trades, master of none. So it makes you touch base on everything really. And then you now decide within yourself. This is where your career decision now comes up, right? That oh, this is what I want to specialize in. So we have learning and development, we have comps and benefit, that's compensation and benefits. We have payroll, we have employee engagement. Like it's a lot, right? It's a lot like that. So in bigger organizations, like maybe in banks, like yeah, the banking sector, you have the talent acquisition person, you have the one that does comps and benefits, you have people that do L&D. So they break it down like that. But in smaller organization, instead of you having specialists in all the areas, right? They will just make you HR generalist. You can handle everything. So don't say I just want to be an HR generalist. No, on the long run, you should be looking forward to specializing in in something. Someone like me now, I want to do L&D. Yeah. So look forward to so look forward to that and speak with people. I have my mentor, right? I already went. I'm like, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to do L&D, and I already started taking my classes on that. And that's what you do really. You branch out from the HR generalist and then you call yourself talent acquisition specialist or
Mm-hmm.
player development manager, things like that. So that
Specialize.
yeah, you specialize, right? All right, so I think that answers that question. What is L&D? Learning and development, really. Sorry about that. What is learning and development? So now another question is, how do I choose a career path as a fresh graduate? I
That's a
just
very
finished.
beautiful question. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
when I started my training, I used to say three things. There are three categories of graduates in Nigeria, or even undergraduate. Number one, you applied for a course in the university, and the university gave you the course you applied for. Number two, you did not apply for the course you studied. The university offered you the course, and you had no choice than to that you study it.
and to take it.
Like myself, who studied biochemistry. But they have the third category of people are people either number one or two who have figured out what it is they want to do. All right. So, like the question says, what are the major steps you want to take? Sorry, how do I choose a career path as a fresh graduate?
Yeah,
Is number one, have a sense of what you would like to do. You know, what you would like to do, and you may not have all the answer. You may not have all the answer, but um, just have an idea of what are some of the things based on your skill. Based on your skill, we want to just check something out. Based on your skill, based on the things you've done in school and NYC, you want to quickly ask yourself, what is it I'd like to do in two or three industries or sectors of things I'd like to do? Just have that. There's this career Venn diagram that says, what you love, what you're good at, and what can pay you well. So you want to just answer that question. Number one, what do you love doing? What are you really good at? Number two, what do you love doing? And number three, what can pay you? What can you get paid for based on what you do and everything? What are your skills? What are your interests? And what are some of the opportunities you have? And you have to put that into paper. For example, when I was done with school, I studied biochemistry. I knew I didn't want to do biochemistry, but in school, I was already teaching right from secondary school. I was already doing a lot of trainings and stuff. I knew that okay, I wanted to just build a career in that. Also in school, I was part of an association that do a lot of projects for undergraduates. So I knew I was very good in project management. So I knew it was teaching that's L&D and it was project management. I also knew that I could lead. I like taking initiative. So that made me realize, you know what, I can take any opportunity that comes, and I know based on my skills, I can deploy myself. So understanding these three things first will help you when you want to get into want to start your career as a fresh graduate. Secondly, as a fresh graduate, I would say don't be too overly selective. You see fresh graduates, you're not working and you get a job and you decline it because of pay, which is valid because in this economy right now, you need money. But sometimes beyond the money, is to ask yourself, how will that thing prepare you for your next thing? So my first job, for instance, was just 25,000 naira, right? But that was where I learned everything I needed to learn,
yeah.
right? Everything I needed to learn around using tech tools, using work tools, do conflict resolution, managing a budget, meeting stakeholders. And by the time I went for my second job, that already prepared me for that. I didn't even do that first one for so long. So number two, get into the space, right? And start deploying your skills. And to be honest, as a young person, you may not really know what it is you want to do. Some people who are already in HR, for instance, already in project management, it's just like their first job, they started their first job with that. And when they got to the village, they felt that, okay, I can do this. And their career path just started like that. So sometimes you just need to get into the space and figure it out. Like Tifa said, it's not about sitting at home and asking yourself and be selective. You want to get into the space. You want to get into the space. Even though you want to do human resource HR and they give you a customer care role, take it. This is my personal opinion now. Take it. But in your customer care role, you want to ask yourself, do you want to visit the HR department from time to time and ask them questions, see what they're doing, also be vocal about the fact that you're interested in HR while you're in that organization. Like Tifa said earlier, have conversations with the manager. And before you know, even in the company, you can now make the switch to what you really want to do. But sometimes you get those opportunities to feel that this is not what I want, and you just relax. So as a young graduate, that's what I'll say. And number four, I was in a training for NYC people recently, and I figured that many of them were posted to some place of primary assignment where they were not really doing anything, right? The work was not exciting. You just, now just bring your clearance. And I said, if you continue like that, you're not positioning yourself well for any opportunity. Even though there is no work, find the work and start doing that work right now. Those are the things you need to put in your CV to create your experiences that further positions you for the opportunities that exist in that career path you want to get into. I hope I answered that question. It's fair.
Yes, you did. You did. Another thing I'll add is be flexible. To be
Yeah.
honest, one thing that stood out for me, I was listening to Jumoke Awoshika talk to a set of CU graduates, and she said she studied account too. But then she knew her life would have been miserable if she continued in that, in that line.
Mm,
So what she did was she wanted to just pass away time, and she
mm,
went to one furniture store. Guess what? That was what bettered the whole love for it, and she has her business today and she's doing well.
mm,
Now the thing is, I did mass comm in school. If I tell you that I dreamt of becoming an HR person, that's a big lie. I wanted to be that media girl, on the red carpet. Everything about media, I would like. That was what I legit wanted. But
mm,
coming out of school, I had to get, I was fortunate enough, I was writing for a blog, nice stuff. I could attend events and everything. But at the point, that sense of fulfillment wasn't there for me.
mm,
And then, like, I found a passion because I had to do, like, just volunteer really. Be flexible. I have friends today, especially you engineers. I'm sorry, but when they go to school and they study this elector engineering, they are hell bent on I'm going to do this. And I have a couple of them that they don't still have a job to today because I
mm,
tell them that you studying engineering, that means you have to be intentional about your career. When you come home for long holiday, you're not sitting at home playing FIFA with your guys that studied
mhm,
mass accounting, right? You are going out there to actually volunteer, to intern with these organizations. Reason being that getting an engineering job is not beans. And they will not come and give it to you that, oh, hey, you studied engineering in school. Nope. It's
separate
within
section.
themselves. It's one of the hardest industries to ever break into. So what you have to do is be flexible. If you stayed at home 1 year, that 1 year itself is a lot because 12 months, how many days? That's a long time. And you see that nothing is forthcoming. You you don't want to go and volunteer because you are looking for money. My dear, go and learn something else. Digital marketing is there. You can sit down from the comfort of your house and make money there too. Be a software engineer. You can also sit down from the comfort of your house. Do you understand? So don't be hell bent on because I studied law. I'm gonna do law. I'll be a
Mm,
lawyer. You might be a lawyer. There are other different parts in law that you can venture into.
mhm,
But
mhm.
be flexible, right?
And the
What
world
do
is
you
changing at a rapid rate. So sometimes when you study, there's a gap between what what our graduates study in school right now and what currently exists in the workplace. A big gap.
think?
You know, so the
Yeah.
world is changing. So you can't really be stuck in like you said, be stuck in what you studied in school because the world is changing at a rapid rate. You know, and yeah, for
So
example, I
very
just saw recently that there's something now called a job called a Zoom moderator, for instance, moderating sessions on Zoom. There's no course like that in university, for instance, and people get well paid for that. So, like Tifa said, they're flexible. Yeah.
Yeah, so please be flexible. All right, now we have the time is 48. That's 48 minutes gone. All right, so this has been very interesting actually. Now, the final question here is, have you encountered any challenges and self-doubt in your career? If yes, how did you overcome it?
Yes, I have. You know, how did I overcome it? I tried as much as possible to focus on the things I need to do and get it done. You know, um, I speak to people. I get clarity most times in conversations with people. You know, I focus on things that are in my control and I forget about things that are not in my control. So sometimes you feel self doubt. You feel like, oh, you're not getting your friends are getting more money than you know, in the same career path or you're doing. You feel that way sometimes, you know, but everybody has different ways that they're running it. So you want to really, really focus on the things you're doing. You know, for example, on LinkedIn now, a lot of people complain, though I can't go to LinkedIn. A lot of people are sharing their story. I don't have any story to share. Everybody's getting a job or going for masters and stuff. Come on, you have to focus on what you're doing and tell your own story. That's very, very, very important. You see, like even the previous question, I know time, but the last question you didn't ask. Some people they finish school and immediately want to go into masters, and the master is something that I'm going to master in for the rest of their life. because there's this kind of pressure, self-doubt, all that affects them. So know what you want to do and focus on what it is you have to do. Yeah, that's how I answer that question.
Yep, thank you so much. And Daniel mentioned something that is very key. Um, Focus on things you can control. Things out of your control, I don't think you should bother about it, because guess what? If you think about it from today to next year, it's out of your control.
Yeah.
So there's no point. You just feel depressed about it. You just be sad, and you just be like, oh, what use? What point? Then you now start swearing for Nigeria. Nigeria is not doing this. Nigeria is not. But guess what? Some people are making it work. So at the end of it, there are times that you have that doubt. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. This is where one, you should also have good people that you talk with, so that when in situations like that, like when it comes up like that, that tiny voice telling you, Tiffany, you're not good enough. You can't do it. You
Mm,
have someone that you can talk to, and you have confessions that you actually just say towards yourself, to be honest, because you always have challenges, no matter, even people that have 20 years of experience, they still have their own challenges that they go through, right? So
mm,
it's just you being determined. They say something like, what you set your heart to do. I don't know about you, but if I set my heart to do it, I will actually do it. So
mm.
yeah, that's what you should be able to. So thank you so much. I've answered the questions here. Now let's have, if you have any questions for us, we have 9 more minutes on the clock to wrap this up. Let us know. Someone was talking about, but managers will not give you listening ears. If your manager is not giving you listening ears, right, about your salary increment conversation, then you can, really, it's the manager that will give you listening ears. You have to look for how to get your manager's attention, because it's your manager that can make a case for you, to be very honest. But if you operate in an open door policy, company, you have that open door policy, you can, have a conversation with the HR manager, but still through your manager that will do that for you. Someone is asking, how do you screen thousands of resumes and applications for a job in your company and know the ones that are fit for the job? This is very simple. It's the ATS. Your CV, you have to ensure that it shows the roles, like their job descriptions that they put there. So it has to be in line. If you're looking for an HR job, there are things that they will put into that, the system, and say, oh, it's like control F, find recruitment, find onboarding, find offboarding, things like that. Once you don't have it on your CV, guess what? It doesn't find them. Now, speaking on this, we're actually running the level up campaign. What does it mean? We want everybody to level up, really. We have soft skills training for free. This level up campaign, we offer 5,000 naira CV service, to people. So by all means, we want you to get the good job.
I think we lost Fair there. Can everybody confirm they can hear me? Let me see. All right. Can you all confirm? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, you're back. Okay.
Yes, I'm back. So pretty much the level up campaign ensure that your profile is, 100% complete, so
Updated.
that when people are looking for, when we have roles to fill in house, we can easily find you on our ATS, right? And don't forget to tap into this 5,000 naira discount CV service that we're running. 5K really, and you also have to, you have one review of your CV. So if I do the first draft now, I send to you, you go through it. If you want to make changes, you want to add something, add that you did not send before, we can do that for you before we send you the final draft. So 7 minutes on the clock. Let me see if you have any other question. I studied electrical engineering in school and I wanted to venture into HR. What are the trainings I can do to have HR skill set? Why does everybody like HR?
It just it looks I don't know. And sometimes I feel that and I see that a lot. Many people want to go into HR, but you want to ask yourself, why do you want to go into HR? I think when you know the why, you know the how and what, you will become clearer. Somebody also said in the chat section that she needs a mentor. I would say there's this whole praise about mentorship and all the stuff. Why that is important? Sometimes you don't really need a mentor. You sometimes you just need a friends that have sense. friends that have sense, colleagues that have sense, people that you can talk to and will give you advice, right? Start from there, and as you grow, the mentor you're looking for will even find you. And when your mentor sees you, the mentor will know that he or she should mentor you, and you know that he or that person should mentor you. But for now, find friends that have sense. Very important.
Okay. So when you say find friends that have sense, don't go and pack all your age mates as your friends. You need to balance it. So you need the people that are older than you need the people that are your age mates, and you need the people that are younger than you. Let it be equal. You are learning from everybody as well. So thank you very much. We have 5 minutes on the clock. Daniel, do you have any final words for us today? Making better career decisions. Any final words for every one of us here today?
Well, in making better career decisions, I'll just say try to upskill as much as possible. Upskill in the job, upskill taking training. You can take our Jobman soft skills training by going to jobman.com/soft skills. Um, engage in conversations like this. And there's this thing like one of the person I listen to a lot usually says, John Obidi, he says the skills that brought you out of Egypt will not take you to the promised land. So you always need to upskill. Soft skills, technical skill, hard skill, always ensure that you're upskilling. And that's our end this thing. So have a wonderful weekend and see you when
All
I see
right.
you.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
coming.
Tife. So wonderful
Thank you,
conversation.
everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It was a wonderful session. Do enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye bye.
Bye. I hope this was fun for them.
Um,
I thought I was going to drop something in the conversation. But anyway, let's go.
or do you want him to drop something in conversation? If this was fun for you, please drop a thumbs up.
An emoji. Let's see you. We just have 1 minute, so just drop a thumbs up or an emoji. All right. So have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Daniel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. So I
Okay,
see Jerry
perfect.
say. So Evelyn, yeah, you can reach out. You want to talk to someone? Yeah, you can reach out. Reach out to any of us to fill myself. More than happy to help you. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
All right, people. Bye.